Welcome to Weldtech Solutions. In today's video we're focusing on vertical manual metal arc welding, or stick welding to the hardened welders out there. Vertical welding can be a challenge for many welders because of gravity pulling that molten pool downwards, but with the right techniques, settings and electrode control it becomes a skill that you can eventually master. In this video we're going to complete a single V butt weld in the vertical position. We're going to be putting the root in using E7018 2.5mm rods, running them on 70 amps on DC electrode positive. We're going to focus on the correct rod positioning and travel angles to maintain control of that weld pool. We're using the keyhole method, melting both sides of the weld prep and forcing weld metal through the backside to create reinforcement. To control the weld pool, we're flicking the rod up and down to maintain the size of the keyhole, taking heat away from it. If too much metal is added at once, the keyhole will become too large, resulting in excessive penetration through the other side. So with the root in place, we deslag the weld and use a grinder just to tidy up any last bits that we might have missed. It's important to clear away all the slag, as welding over it could cause us slag traps. With the root run in, we now switch over to 325 diameter electrodes and we're going to run them at 90 amps. At this stage we need to pay close attention to our heat input. If we put too much heat into the joint, the root run can remelt, which will force excess metal through to the back side. This can also cause two problems, either blowing through the material completely or sucking back the root, where the root run gets pulled back and leaves the joint weak. To avoid this, we need to control our arc length, travel speed and rod angle carefully. We do this by adding a slight weave to our run, keeping a steady hand and consistent movement. This will help us build up the weld without disturbing or overheating the root run. With that run complete, we deslag the weld and then use the grinder again to make sure all traces of that slag are removed. Once everything is cleaned up, we move on to our third pass. At this stage we've got a bit more weld metal in there, so we've got a bit more room to work with. So we increase our amps to 110 and our key focus is fusing properly into the side walls as we progress upwards. We need to maintain a flat and even welding profile throughout. This is where the skill comes into play. Your weave should be consistent, ensuring you keep your weld ripples tight between each weave. This ensures good penetration into your previous run and sidewall fusion into the plates, which gives a neat appearance without excessive build-up. So with that run done, deslag, give it a wire brush. We don't need to grind now because we're nice and flat. Now moving on to our fourth pass. We're maintaining the same amperage as the previous pass because the weld pool is stable. We're not overheating it, causing it to sag, and we're able to control it effectively. Now that we are getting wider, we need to compensate a little bit by travelling a little bit slower. At the same time, we maintain a slight pause on each side of that weave. This helps us properly fuse the side walls, building up weld metal and preventing it from undercutting the edges. Undercut is where the edges of the weld get cut into where the plate is melting it away, creating a groove down each side of the run. Our sole focus is controlling the travel speed and pause times and that heat input so that we can keep achieving a flat and uniform weld. With that run done, we deslag, cheeky wire brush, and we're off to the flushing run. On this pass our goal is to fill the joint prep just slightly short of flush. This ensures the edges remain visible when we move on to the capping run. These edges serve as a guide to maintain a straight bead. Filling too high on this pass risks losing the edge, making it harder to see and potentially causing that capping run to become uneven as we progress up the joint. We're using the same amperage at 110 and exactly the same motion as we move up the joint, with the sole aim of keeping that weld profile flat. When we move on to the capping pass, we're going to demonstrate two methods, one continuing with our weave and the second using a stringer bead technique. With that run complete, we can now move on to our capping run. As you can see, we've left the edge in place from that previous flushing run, which makes that line of weld clearly visible, which gives us a lovely guide to follow and helps ensure that that capping run stays straight up either edge. So we're running the same amperage as before, we're running 110 amps. The only difference in technique now is we need to make sure the capping run sits slightly over flush, giving us that reinforcement without cutting into the sides of the plate. To achieve that, we'll just pause a little bit longer on each side before moving across the run. Once complete, the weld should look something like this, with a good reinforcement and a consistent welding profile that's over flush and fully fused into both edges. So now we're going to look at the second method, the stringer bead technique. This method reduces the heat input in the weld. In fact, some welding specifications state that you can't make a weave wider than a certain amount, so in those cases you'll need to use a stringer bead technique. The reasons for this is it's preventing overheating, which can alter the material's properties and affect the the specification. For these runs, since we're not weaving, we need tighter control of the weld pool. We've reduced the amperage to 100 amps and we're following the edge to keep that run straight. On subsequent passes, the edge of the prep won't be there, but we can use our previous bead as our guide. The goal is to place each run around halfway over the previous run, so that we're preventing a gully from forming in between the welds. And we rock our angle over so that we're pointing slightly at the previous run. As you can see, we're building evenly across the plate. The beads aren't sagging or forming a V-shaped profile, which confirms that both our amperage and technique are correct. For the final run, we can clearly see the last edge, and we'll continue with the same method, running halfway over the previous bead while fusing into that final edge to finish off. And there you have it, 2 ways to complete a vertical butt using the manual metal art process. For more stick welding tips and tricks, check out our playlist on screen, and as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.